أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم فانطلقا حتى إذا لقيا غلاما فقتله قال أقتلت نفسا زكية بغير نفس لقد جئت شيئا نكرا قال ألم أقل لك إنك لن تستطيع معي صبرا قال إن سألتك عن شيء بعدها فلا تصاحبني قد بلغت من لدني عذرا صدق الله العظيم. So my dear respected brothers and elders, Alhamdulillah, we are continuing with the story of Musa alayhi salam and Khazir alayhi salam, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala instructed Musa alayhi salam to travel to Khazir alayhi salam and gain this special type of knowledge, which was not knowledge of the Sharia, because Musa alayhi salatu wasalam already had knowledge of the Sharia, and in fact he was the most knowledgeable person as he was a prophet of Allah. But this knowledge was ilm takwini, knowledge to do with certain events and certain incipients that occur in the dunya. And so Musa alayhi salatu wasalam took permission of him. What did he say? هل أتبعك على أن تعلمني مما علمت رشدا. Beautiful, isn't it? هل أتبعك. Can I follow you with the understanding that you teach me some of the rushd, the knowledge that Allah has given me? And how many lessons do we derive from this? These 3 words? 12 lessons. Ha. Shall we please go over them again, Jangir?
Again?
Yeah, 3rd time, come on. So everybody, it sticks in everybody's mind. Yes. So what were the 12 lessons? Etiquettes of a student.
Right. First, to be a follower.
First one, he said, هل أتبعك. Can I be your follower? Allahu Akbar. So his intention was to follow. Yes, number 2.
Right. One, with humility, permission to be a...
Not only did he say, I want to be your follower, he asked permission, can I be your follower? So number 2, he asked permission to be follower. So look at his etiquette, look at his adab. And who's doing this? Musa alayhi salam. Ulul Azm. He's asking Khizr, who he's far greater than Khizr, 10 times greater, if not 100 times, because he's got ilm sharia. But he's saying, can I follow you? He's taking permission, number 2. Number 3.
So you said Musa has got a greater knowledge, but he's asking Khizr for the knowledge that he doesn't know.
So number 3 is he's accepting the fact that he doesn't have this knowledge. His acceptance. So it's acceptance. Acceptance that he doesn't have this knowledge and Musa and Khazir has this knowledge. This is, again, humility. So what should a student do when you sit with the teacher? Know that you don't know what the teacher knows. Otherwise, if you sit there knowing you know more than the teacher, you will not learn. G.
But he wants to acquire some of Khizr's knowledge.
Number 4, again, humility. What did he say? Mimma ulim, some of the knowledge that Allah has given you. Meaning, I don't want to be your equal and your par in this. I only want to have some of it. Allahu Akbar. Number 5.
This is knowledge which is given to him by Allah. So
Number 5, he says, this is acceptance that this knowledge is given by Allah. So meaning, ilmun nafi'. What knowledge is it? Ilmun nafi', beneficial knowledge. Therefore, we should only seek beneficial knowledge. Yes? Knowledge that gets us close to Allah. Yes, number 6.
The one who should knowledge for God.
Number 6, yes. So this is also interlinked with number 5. That it is not just beneficial knowledge, but it's that knowledge which leads to guidance, hidayah. Yes, which means it's important, because without hidayah, a person is misguided. Yes. Number 7.
Musa is asking to be blessed in the same way that Allah is blessed.
Allah, what did he say? Can I have some of the knowledge which Allah has given you? Meaning, the way Allah has done in'am on you, can you do in'am on me? Can you also bless me? Can you also do favor on me? Number 7.
Number 8 is to follow Khizr, to exemplify the teacher.
What was number 8? Etiquette number 8, he said, can I be your follower? What does that mean? Ittiba' means to follow somebody else's action because they're doing it. If I'm following someone, why am I following them? Because they're doing it, that's why I'm following them. Yes? Which means that if you are studying with a teacher, initial stages, what should you do? You should do what the teacher does. And what the teacher teaches without objection, without questioning. Yes?
And what the teacher's doing is exemplary as well.
Yes. That's number 8.
Yeah, that was number 8. So number 9 to can I follow you fully?
Yeah, number 9 it was هل أتبع, can I follow you? يعني it was unrestricted following. It wasn't restricted. Can I only follow you sometimes or not other times? No. Follow you completely.
You know, like people pick the imams and they like the answer.
Yeah, some people we just follow when we feel like following. No, this is not the case. Yes.
So he had a genuine zeal for knowledge and humility.
Yes. So that's number
10.
Number 10, yes. Number 10 is that despite having all of these manaqib, meaning being the Prophet of Allah, having the Torah, the Sharia, Khidr Islam also knowing that he is Musa bin Imran from Bani Israel, despite all of this, he still wants to seek more knowledge. So what's etiquette number 10? That the more knowledge do you seek, the more complete you become in your humility and your knowledge. And then we give the 4 categories where Imam Shafi'i says the first person is that person, student of knowledge who just starts learning, yes, few Wikipedia articles of a few pages from a book, he thinks he knows everything, yes, and there's nobody like him. Stage number 2, what's stage number 2? He learns a bit, he realizes there's still something to learn, there's still some ignorance, so that's number 2. Stage number 3 is he learns more, he researches more, he realizes there's a lot left to learn. And stage number 4, he carries on doing research, carries on studying, then he realizes he doesn't know anything. Yes? Etiquette number 11.
Can you teach me? You said it's a type of khidmat.
So no. He said, هل أتبعك? Can I follow you on the understanding that you teach me? So number 1, he offered his khidmat service. Can I follow you? Ittiba, following, is a type of service. And then ta'aleem is the teaching. So what does that mean? That means a student should be willing to do khidmah of the teacher and then the teacher will teach, yes. And if you look at the pious Salaf, my dear brothers, they all did this. And this is now this new trend, you know, that everything is bid'ah, you know, respect is bid'ah, ihtiram is bid'ah, no, everything is bid'ah. These are all from the Quran. These are adab, ad-din kulluhu adab. The entire deen is respect.
Number 12 is following purely to pursue the knowledge. It's intrinsic value.
So knowledge got intrinsic value because Musa alayhi salam didn't put any stipulation that give me knowledge because of this. No, he just said, I just want to follow you with the pure intention of pursuing knowledge. So these are 12 adab, 12 etiquettes of ilm. May Allah grant us tawfiq. This is how true knowledge comes, my dear brothers. Actual knowledge comes with adab. Yes, our Hafiz Patel Sahib Rahmatullahi Alayhi used to often say, Ba adab ba naseeb, be adab be naseeb. Most of his bayans, every bayan used to say this, Ba adab ba naseeb, be adab be naseeb. The one with respect will gain, the one without respect will not gain. And you see this in your life. Those students who have respect towards the knowledge, yes, who have respect towards the books, the benches, the classroom, the teacher, they succeed, they excel. And the person who sits in halaqat or who sits in classroom in front of the teacher as mustaghni, independent, I've heard this before. You know, this is nothing. This is I know this. This is very dangerous. This makes a person mahroom, deprives them of knowledge. Because knowledge is not in need of us. We are in need of.
And Ali says knowledge protects the person.
Yes.
Person has to protect
knowledge protects you, whereas you have to protect your wealth.
And when you expend,
and wealth,
and when you spend on the knowledge, it increases. When you spend on wealth, it decreases.
You've been reading, eh?
No, this
MashaAllah. Alhamdulillah. So the offer, the request was accepted by Khidr alayhi salam with one condition though, that Musa alayhi salatu wasalam cannot ask any questions until he explains the reason for the events. Yes. So they started off their journey, as we mentioned yesterday, and whilst they were walking together, they had to board a ship. And those people who owned the ship were poor brothers, and upon recognizing Khidr alayhi salam, they offered a free ride. And as soon as they entered or embarked the ship, the hadith of Bukhari mentions that Khidr alayhi salam got axe and he took out a few planks of wood. So what did Musa alayhi salatu wasalam say? أَخَرَقْتَهَا لِتُغْرِقَ أَهْلَهَا. Have you made this big hole so you can drown these people? So what did Khidr Islam say? Did I tell you? قَالَ أَلَمْ أَقُلْ إِنَّكَ لَن تَسْتَطِيعَ مَعِيَ صَبْرًا. Did I tell you will not be able to bear patience? So there's two directions historically speaking. It's not in Bukhari. That after making the hole, either miraculously the water stopped entering, or there was a see-through sort of barrier, like a window mirror type, which stopped the water. But in any case, it looked very dangerous. This is why Musa alayhi salatu wasalam objected. And yesterday from Imam Razi rahmatullah alayhi, we discussed that issue, those people who use this verse to attack the infallibility of the prophets by saying that Musa alayhi salam broke his promise and he questioned. Yes, we did that yesterday. We're not going to go into that again. So what did Musa alayhi salatu wasalam reply? What did he say? He said, yes. قَالَ لَا تُؤَخِذْنِي بِمَا نَسِيتُ. Do not hold me to an account for something I've forgotten. Yes, I made a promise that I will not question. However, I have forgotten. So وَلَا تُرْهِقْنِي مِنْ أَمْرِي عُسْرًا. Do not be harsh with me. Do not put difficulty in my matter. No. Okay. First time, it's a mistake, forgotten, and nisyan and khata, as the Prophet ﷺ said, they are forgiven. So they continue with their journey now. They went onto the ship, they took off the ship, the boat, and they carried on walking. And the hadith in Bukhari mentions that there was a few boys playing. And Khidr alayhi salam went to one of the boys, grabbed him from the head, took his head off, threw his head that way, and buried that way. Killed him. So فَانْطَلَقَا. So they both walked. حَتَّى إِذَا لَقِيَا غُلَامًا. Until they met a boy. Ghulam here is referring to a child who has not reached the age of maturity, who has not reached the age of puberty. فَقَتَلَ. Killed him. The narration mentions killed him by severing his head from his body. Now Musa alayhi salatu wasalam saw this. قَالَ أَقَتَلْتَ نَفْسًا زَكِيَّةً بِغَيْرِ نَفْسٍ. Have you killed an innocent soul that has not taken another soul? Meaning it was a child with an innocent soul. Why do you kill an innocent soul? And that of a child. لَقَدْ جِئْتَ شَيْئًا نُكَرًا. You have now surely perpetrated a great wrong. Look at the words now. In the first one, after he took out those plank of wood, what do you say? Shay'an imra. Yes? That was the word, Shay'an imra. Imra can, from in Mulluga, imra is from ajab, meaning something that is strange. Yani, why would you make a hole inside a ship? It is something strange. And the reason the word imra was used, strange and not wrong, because it was possible that the ship would survive, and it did. Water did not enter. So the language there was used, wasn't that severe. It was imra. You've done something that is, you can't explain this. Why have you done this? But in the second incident, where Khidr alayhi salam took the head of this child, shay'an nukra. You've done something that is, completely wrong, condemned. Nukr, from nakara. It should be condemned. You see the difference now. Why? Because down here there was no chance of survival. In the boat scenario, yes, the boat survived, the water did not enter, so it wasn't that bad. But here, the child lost his life. Now, brothers, again the question arises, and inshallah in tomorrow's dars, or maybe the day after, we're going to spend a couple of days on this, on the problem of evil and why these things happen in the world, in the light of Surah Al-Kahf, inshallah. But for now, what we need to understand is that Musa alayhi salatu wasalam, again, what has he done? He's gone. The promise that he made. What was the promise that he made? سَتَجِدُنِي إِنْ شَاءَ اللَّهُ صَابِرًا وَلَا أَعْصِي لَكَ أَمْرًا. Inshallah, you see me patient and I'm not going to go against what you say. But now again, He has objected, and not too long. A short time has passed and he's objected again. So the way to explain this again, my dear brothers, is that when Musa alayhi salam made that promise, he made that promise with the assumption in mind that whatever he will see nothing wrong. Why? Because it is Allah who had instructed him to go gain this knowledge from Khizr alayhi salam. So whatever he will see, it will not be wrong. However, what he saw was clearly contradicting the Sharia. At this point, Musa alayhi salatu wasalam doesn't know the reason why Khizr alayhi salam is doing this. He is judging by the apparent. Yes, and we are, as the narration mentioned in the hadith of Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam, we are mukallaf, we are legally responsible for the dhawahir, for the apparent situation of people, not the internal situation. What happens internally, we cannot know this. So we have to judge based on the apparent. And the Nabi of Allah, the Prophet of Allah, they judge by the Sharia. And from outwardly, this contradicted the Sharia clearly. It was a murder of an innocent child. Musa alayhi salam had no choice but to speak. Musa alayhi salam had to speak because the Sharia demanded that he has to speak as a prophet. So the promise that was made, again, the promise was made on the assumption that he would not see anything contravening the Sharia. He didn't know this at that time. A promise is made in whole, good conscience. You know exactly what you're saying. But the assumption that Musa alayhi salatu wasalam made the promise, he had this in his mind. He didn't know that this will happen. And also Musa alayhi salam, being the Nabi of Allah and implementing the Sharia, he had to speak. He had to. So what do we understand from this, my dear brothers? We understand from this that the Ummah, we are mukallaf of the zahir. We are mukallaf of the apparent. What happens behind the scene? What is the agenda of a person? What is the... Sometimes people say, look, he's got an agenda. Look. If that's his agenda, that's between him and Allah. Sometimes a person comes to a mufti, yes, and they sort of manipulate their question in a certain way. They phrase their question in a certain way just to get a certain answer. Now what does the mufti do? Yes, in usul of ifta and adab al-ifta, they say, yes, Ibn Abidin rahmatullahi alayhi and the others, they mention this, that what the mufti does, the mufti gives fatwa based on the apparent situation of the sa'il, of the one that's questioning. Now if the questioner has got some agenda, or they sort of manipulate it. There was a case where somebody asked me a question, the answer was very clear, but I wanted them to be sure, so I told them to ask my teacher. I gave them the number. So my teacher rang me and he said to me, well, this is what he asked me. I said, well, that's what he asked me. What he said to me was this. He goes, Well, he said this to me. And because he said this, now the ruling is not there. Same man, I thought, look at that, hasha la hawla wa la quwwata. He has changed the question now completely. Now he's living in zina. But he's changed the question just so it can suit his desire. But when I'm mukallaf of that, if he changed the question, that's entirely up to him. The mufti have to just judge by on the zahir. And nor are we allowed to think, oh well, he's got this agenda, or this might be the intention, or I have this feeling. No, we can't do that. That's not evidence for us. For evidence for us is the Sharia and the apparent Sharia. And this also clarifies what we were discussing a couple of days ago, that everybody, every single person, when the Nabi of Allah is implementing the Sharia, the Nabi of Allah, Musa alayhi salam, despite saying that I will not question, yes, and despite being instructed by Allah to ascertain this knowledge, he is clearly questioning because the Sharia of Allah it comes above everything. Then no person, no individual, doesn't matter how big of a buzurg, peer, Sufi he is, even if he starts flying on a Aladdin carpet, yes, they are mukallaf of the Sharia. Every single person is mukallaf of the Sharia. A person who reached the age of maturity and they are mukallaf, by definition, they are aqil, baligh, they have intellectual reasoning and faculty, and they've reached the age of maturity, puberty, they are mukallaf of the Sharia. They can't say, well, but ye buzurg jo na, wo aise maqam tak pahunch gaya that we don't understand even the haram that he does this. There's some reason behind it. People say this. The Pir Sahib has reached the level of spirituality that, even his wrongs are right. Hi. I've heard these people say this. Even their wrongs are right. This peer, this sheikh, or whoever this person is, he is shaitan. In short, he's not a peer, he's not a sheikh, he is the friend of shaitan, or the cousin of shaitan, one of the two. He's not, no. Nobody is above the Sharia. Nobody is above the Sharia. What did Imam Malik rahmatullah alayhi say? من كل واحد يؤخذ ويرد عليه إلا صاحب هذا القبر وأشار إلى قبر النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم. That from every single person you take, yes, and you respond, you refute, accept Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم. Of course, you do with adab and ihtaram. When we do niqash with the ulama, and we like in class of fiqh, we refute the Shafi'i position, or we refute the Maliki position, yes, on the najasa of qalb, how many times you wash it, is it 3 times or 7 times? But you don't adab, of course you have to respect these ulama. But this doesn't mean people are above the Sharia. Everybody is binded by the Sharia. There is a group, corrupt Sufis, who say they've reached a level of spirituality so high level that the obligation of Salah is now forgiven. There are people like this. And Pakistan is probably the worst. And they make so much money. They go maaf hai ji. Namaz is maaf. There's somebody telling me there's some Salah in Pakistan. Has it called? Somebody telling me that day. If you pray this Salah, then you're forgiven or something. You don't have to pray any of this.
Smileys, they pay money, they do Hajj.
Oh, they pay.
Whoever is responsible.
They're not Muslim Aslan anyway, so. But yeah, this is kufr. To say a person is exempted from Salah is kufr. When Allah hasn't exempted him, who are you to exempt him? You see? So this shows you the strict adherence of the Sharia. The Musa alayhi salatu wasalam, despite you saying, look, I'm not going to ask again, I'm not going to ask, and forgive me, I forgot. Still, why have you done this? Because it clearly contradicts the Sharia. You killed an innocent child. Now Khizr alayhi salam said, قَالَ أَلَمْ أَقُلْ لَكَ إِنَّكَ لَن تَسْتَطِيعَ مَعِيَ صَبْرًا. Look at the difference. In the first incident, what did he say? قَالَ أَلَمْ أَقُلْ إِنَّكَ. Did I not say that you will not be able to bear with me? Now he's saying, قَالَ أَلَمْ أَقُلْ لَكَ إِنَّكَ. There's laka, extra now. In the first one, there's no laka. In the second one, there's laka. Did I not tell you that you will not be able to bear patience? Extra emphasis now. First, look, did I say that you will not be able to bear patience? Did I not tell you that you will not be able to bear patience now? Because this is the second time now he's done this. Musa alayhi salatu wasalam. Musa alayhi salam realized that this is the second time now. So what did he say? He said, قَالَ إِن سَأَلْتُكَ عَنِ شَيْءٍ. Now he's made a condition. First one, look, I've forgotten, and do not be harsh. But now he's made a condition. Okay. Has happened the second time? إِن سَأَلْتُكَ عَنِ شَيْءٍ بَعْدَهَا فَلَا تُصْوَاحِبْنِي قَدْ بَلَغْتَ مِن لَدُنِّي عُذْرًا. If I question you about anything after this, then you need not remain with me. Then I don't have to stay in your company. Then do not keep me in your company anymore. That's it. Even though Musa alayhi salatu wasalam really needs this, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala instructed him to travel, and he did so much sacrifice of traveling, yes, to the Majma al-Bahrain, to the confluence of the two seas, and then the extra 24 hours where he traveled, and then he became tired. Despite all this, he knows that he needs this journey. He needs this knowledge. But now he himself is saying that, look, if I question after this, then don't keep me in your company. Why? قَدْ بَلَغْتَ مِن لَدُنِّي عُذْرًا. You have received enough excuse from me. And you've got enough excuse now not to keep me, because it's the second time now that I have questioned. So they proceed. The journey continues. There was something I wanted to mention from Imam Razi. that's what I've already mentioned. Right, so we'll continue from here tomorrow, inshallah ta'ala. Subhanallah, bihamdi, subhanallah, bihamdi,
Is there any implications on this verse?